Hey everyone, it's Nick with Us versus Her. Thanks so much for joining into this stream. If this is your first time here, hit that subscribe button. If it's not your first time here, you're already a subscriber, hit that bell button so you get alerted of the videos that we post every day. We do a live video or we post a new video every day at 3:30 p.m. Central. We're Central Time, so if you have a hard time with that, it's half an hour after the market closes. But today was definitely an interesting day. You know, the Dow was up almost 200 points at one point. NASDAQ was down a bunch. If you look at my watch list to the left here, just a bunch of mixed stocks. You know, Amazon was down, but Google was up. Microsoft was down. Alibaba was up. Square was down. So, you know, it was a very, very mixed day. If you're here watching this now, say what up in the chat. What's going on, Jeff? What's going on, Manny? Definitely appreciate everyone that's here watching this right now and that will be watching this later as well. What I wanted to talk about today was how to increase your win rate. I've been getting a lot of questions lately is like, you know, how do you find winning stocks, or how do you decide what to do? We're going to be talking today about Microsoft. We're going to be talking about Goldman Sachs, Tesla, and of course TLRY. Oliver TLRY is no longer halted. Yeah, still it's moving right now. Brian, what's going on? Yeah, TLRY got halted five times in 1 hour, 1 hour today. But I wanted to talk about, you know, increasing your win rate, and we'll get to everyone's questions today. If you guys have anything to add, definitely chime in at any time. But the one thing, the stock I was looking at earlier today was Microsoft, and let me get where are we at here? Let me get Microsoft going in the top right corner here. So Microsoft is, as you can see, overall this week, you know, went from 110 up to 113, almost 114, very choppy. And what people say, you know, what happens is, like, you know, you'll see that it's coming down. It's down from 113, and what people say is, okay, it's at like 111, 112. It's gonna pop to 113, 114 again. But in my mind, this was a very risky trade, and even though it looked like it was consolidating here, if you're day trading this, it's one thing, but if you're swing trading this, it's a completely different thing. You know, for Microsoft, for me, this looked like a risky trade. You know, to see it bounce back up to 113, I didn't see it very likely, and the reason why I didn't see it very likely was that Microsoft, the last time it was in this zone of 111 here, look what happened. It dropped right down to 107. Back up here, 111 zone, dropped down to 105. So, you know, if you look at the 1 year chart and just look at the history, you know, you'll see that, you know, increasing your win rate, you know, putting a trade on to see it bounce up to 113, it's good to get further confirmation, like on the daily chart and the 1 year chart if you're swing trading this, because, you know, when you're looking at the daily chart, you're looking, well, this looks like good support here, looks like it's going to bounce, but you're day trading that. If you're swing trading this, you know, it's going to hurt, and look what happened here. It you know, fell apart shortly after, was trying to consolidate here, have some consolidation. I mean, it was bouncing around, but it ended up going lower. You know, so what I say, you know, to increase your win rate, like if you look at this chart right here, would you say, you know, let me zoom in a little bit. You know, would you say going long here is a good idea when each day the highs are getting lower? Like, look here, 113, then a little lower, then a little lower today. You know, what's tomorrow going to bring? Is tomorrow going to be 110? Is Friday going to be 108? You know, it doesn't look, you know, when you have a descending pattern right here like this, it's not, you know, you're not going to get, you know, you're going to have a better rate of return if you're going to buy down here. Like if you buy down here around 108, you know, it bounced down here, 106, it bounced about 106. So, you know, like for me, if I was looking at Microsoft to be long, my target would probably be like the 105, 106 area. And when I'm trying to increase my win rate, I look for you know, the high probability of it going in either direction. Right now we're in a bull market, so like for Microsoft, we're leaning, because the chart is undeniable, we're in an uptrend over the long term. But for the short term, you know, to go long here would not be like my first choice. You know, I'd be looking for something down in the 105 area, 106 area to get more of a bounce. So, you know, to increase your win rate, you have to go back to the charts and see where there's a greater probability of it bouncing or falling apart. Like right now, if you want to put a short position on, say I'm going to be short to 106, I mean, that could be a play too. Short here to 106, 108, definitely is a play. But, you know, specifically going long, like the question was, should I go long here? You know, but I thought this would make a good video because some people are trying to put trades on right now when there's descending patterns. Even though we're in a bull market, like when we're in a bull market, it creates a lot of lazy traders because people just buy calls, it goes up. Buy calls, it goes up. Like if you bought Microsoft down at 97, it went up for a long time until it didn't. You know, it went up for like a month until it didn't go up anymore. So like when you're trading, you want to set yourself up for a high chance of making a profit, and doing that, you know, you have to rely on the technicals, just not on what's going on at this moment. Are we looking, you know, we had a sharp drop, you know, just don't buy it because it was a sharp drop. There's probably a better opportunity in the market. Now if it had a sharp drop to, you know, if it did a sharp drop to like 106, 105, then I definitely would probably be thinking about getting long there. Brian said it did the same thing 2 days ago. Yep. You know, having some issues. I mean, it could, you know, when you're trading options, it's all about speculation. Like no one knows if it's going to go up or down. But based on the chart, you can always, you know, increase your win rate based on where it's jumped before. You know, Tesla is another one. So Tesla actually got out of this yesterday with a small loss of 20 bucks. If you guys watched my video from yesterday or you're on the live stream, and I told you guys yesterday, if you guys remember, be careful of this 275 area. I don't actually have a trade on right now. I said be careful of this 275 area because look, it bounced down here back in April, bounced down here April and May actually, down in this 275, 270 area. You know, it hits the 270. It bounces back up. So, you know, for Tesla, like some people asked a couple days ago, like why is it good to have two-sided action and stuff? And this is definitely playing a two-sided action trade, is where you're increasing your chances of success because it's balancing off this 275 support, and which it did here as well. Now, that not saying it's going to do it all the time. As you can see here, it also was down in this area and then dropped down to 250. But if you're able to withstand the pain, most likely when you have a sharp drop like that, you're going to have some sort of dead cat pounce, or you know, whatever the case is, and it looks like that's the case in here. But as you can see, like two completely different stocks, two completely different animals. You can see based on these explanations or these examples, you can see how you can increase your win rate. You know, by going long, like what a lot of people do, they get caught up in going long at the wrong times, and then they lose money. And it's not because you know, they're dumb or anything like that. It's just because you probably didn't take the time to look at all the different charts and all the different angles of this trade. And a lot of times what I notice is when people are trying to make trades, like we'll talk about TLRY in a second, people are trying to rush the trade. They're trying to get in because it's going to spike any minute. And the best trades that I make are the ones that are relaxed, the ones that you're just taking your time, you're thinking it through. You know, you're not trying to get too crazy with it. Like you have control over the trade. Don't let the trade control you. You know, if you're making irrational decisions, which I'll show you on TLRY, some great examples on people making some terrible decisions. I mean, you'll see that you know, the best way that you can profit is you know, having the ball in your court. Actually, GS actually traded today for a profit. I'm up about 140 today in realized gains. I did take a $30 loser on AMD. But if you look here, same thing with Goldman Sachs. I was trading here. I actually got out. I actually have a position on, but I made about 90 bucks on it today. As you can see here, down to this 227, it's bounced twice. Actually, it's bounced in the last month. You know, one time here, another time back in August, and then another time back in July. It bounced up here. So you'll increase your rate if you're bullish that, you know, when it starts peaking out here like 239 or something, you should probably get out. But you can increase your probability of success, you know, based on looking at the long-term charts. Is pretty much what I'm trying to get at, guys. Not saying that the charts, you know, sometimes the charts disappoint. Like back here, Goldman Sachs looks like it bounced in this 245 area a couple times until it finally just broke through lower. So be prepared for that as well. I'm not saying this happens all the time, but it does happen a lot. So, you know, pay attention. Gunther, you're curious about a long call on MJ. Yeah, let's talk about MJ after I talk about TLRY here. So I'm going to talk about TLRY. Now, this is something about, you know, TLRY, I mean, went from, I mean, I didn't think I was going to see this in my lifetime where you go from like 300 to 150 in an hour on, you know, this is not a penny stock anymore. But you can see like the volume wasn't really that huge. I mean, it was pretty big, but not compared to open. This morning we almost had 3 million. At the end of the day, it was probably because we got halted so many times that there was no trades going through. But TLRY, you know, people were making some crazy decisions on. Let's go to TLRY. Longfin. Oliver says Longfin last year. Yeah. People were making some, because it was easy money. Like people were messaging me saying like it's easy money. I'll just buy some calls by that. And I've been warning you guys for days that it's a crowded trade. Premium super expensive. If you're gonna do anything, sell some premium. You know, don't go super high risk. You know, people were netting some crazy returns. Yes, I'll give you that. But they net those until they don't. And your win rate with this, like I didn't see a trade here because if you look, I mean, let's look at the chart. I mean, they had the IPO like a month ago, and when you look at the chart, there was no areas of support. You know, this chart's a bit skewed now because of today, so it's, man, it makes it's kind of hard because we're just, you know, in 1 month it went from 40 to 300, so the chart's all messed up here on the daily. It doesn't really show, you know, any volatility here. But you can see like the IV rank is off the charts here, and you know it's a crowded trade, and people were making some terrible decisions, especially like today. You know, you can't increase your win rate. So when I talk about win rate, I'm talking about how many times you're profitable. Are you more profitable than do you win more times than you lose? That kind of thing. And what was happening here today on TLRY is, you know, it dropped down to 170. It went back up to 227. I mean, volatility was in since open, and then it looked like it was kind of flattening out, and then it started to uptrend. It broke through this 236 high of the day. You know, broke through this, and people were probably just started adding to their position when they saw that coming. But this is a very crowded trade right now, and as you can see, people were buying up here in the 300s, and then it just all fell apart. And what you don't want to do is, you know, you don't want to be bag holding up here at 300, 275 even, and you know, to see your investment. That's why I've been talking a lot about like controlling your emotions in the last couple days. Your win rate is mostly because of stocks like this, is because you know, people that bought up here saw their investment cut in half, or, you know, depending on if they're buying options, if they're buying stock, you know, their investment was cut in half within 1 hour, you know. And the worst part about it is when they halt the stock, you kind of just have to sit there. You can't do anything, and that way you also can't get out at a reasonable price if you wanted to get out, because so many people were putting in orders. And I'll show you like kind of the way that the option skew was. The option skew actually on Tastyworks, they didn't allow you to place any more trades. They only let you close trades out here. And if you're looking at TLRY here, one of the things when they I've been talking about this for a few days, is the super wide bid and the ask. So let's look at these puts, for instance. The bid and the ask is, you know, the ask is 25, the bid is 17, and then the last price somebody paid for it was like 35 bucks. There's like $1,000 difference here in the options. I mean, it's like a $1,000 difference here. So I mean, if you were gonna make a trade here, you want to know what the price you're gonna get. Like, so what I did, I actually didn't think I was gonna get it filled. So I figured I don't really like making trades like this, but since I had control and it was low risk, I actually bought this $80 put right here, this 80 strike put for 27 cents, and I have the order right here. It was a 27 cent fill today on that order, and oops. Let's go back here, 27 cents. But if you don't put the order in, look, the ask was 280 on this thing. So if you don't put the, and then the last price was 30, and you know, I see these orders all the time. Like, so people were getting terrible pricing here in here. You know, look at this. The bid on the 113s, the ask was $5.20, the bid was 20 cents, and the ask is $4. Like, this is terrible option price. Even for like selling options, because of the volatility, it's hard for you to get in and out. So when you do a trade like this, you have to know what price that you want for this trade. You don't hit the ask. Do not put market order in. You're gonna get screwed. Like, you do not do that. Like, so the trade that I did, I don't normally do trade like this, but it was a lowest trade. I wish I got a couple more contracts. I figured if we can go from 350 to 150, it could go down to 80 by Friday if things get really bad. And it was a lowest trade. It cost me $27, low risk trade. I'm not paying $280 for an $80 put. You know, I'm not paying that, or what people want you to pay. But you can see there was some really good volume on this today. I mean, there's 2,100 open contracts. If you look at some of the calls here, let's see here, some of the calls. Yeah, I mean the $200 calls right here. $1,000 you know, difference between the bid and the ask. I mean, it's just nuts. And then if you look at here, the last price somebody got was $15. So when you get volatility like this, option pricing is going to be all messed up. So if you don't know the price that you are willing to buy it for, don't enter. You're going to get screwed. Let's get to some of these questions here. I think I'm off my soapbox now. Gunther says they spent time researching entry strategies, and it seems to be what everyone talks about. Every trade I've made, it got out too early. Maybe talk about your exit strategies. I mean, today I actually got out too early on Alibaba. It spiked up here, but I was actually afraid of some major pullbacks. I mean, it just went up really quick. You know, leaving money on the table is okay. It's better to be profitable and get out early than it is to hold on and then take a loss. You know, I tend to exit too early. On this GS trade, I actually had a strangle on. I put on down in here was like 233, went up to 236. I was up about $80 on it. When it broke, like it was like 230. When I sold it, it was like, what time was that? Let's see. See GS, yeah, dollar. That was a different trade. Yeah, 202 right here. GS. I put on another trade. So this 235 strangle, 230 put, 202 I got for it. I bought it this morning for $1.14. Got 202 for it. And let's see what time was that? That was 13:24. So right in here. So I sold it around like 235.80, and it went up to 236.28, and we're talking $30. You know, it's okay. And there was really no major pullback, and I would have regretted if I held it into close, because look, you had a nice red candle here. Would have cost me probably about half my gains on that. So definitely was glad I got out, and I definitely glad I realigned that. So don't feel bad about taking profits early. I mean, I exit too early most times. Brian says exit strategy goes with your initial plan. Hit your profit, get out, don't look back. Yeah, I mean, one thing that you got to be careful of is you can always do another trade. I've been talking about this for days, like especially on TLRY. Get out, like with GS, I got out, took my profits, put on another trade. Baba this morning, I took my profits, got out, put on another trade. So feel free, you know, you could always put on another trade. You could always re-enter another position as long as that position makes sense. Let's see here. Oh, you guys are active today. If you guys have any input or have any questions, leave them below. Definitely want to talk about that. Let's talk about MJ. Somebody want to talk about MJ. Yeah, we will say the same thing. Just spend all my time learning. Look at SPY, almost at all-time high. Yeah, Manny says SPY's at all-time highs. Yep. You got to be careful. The one thing that about all-time highs, though, you got to be careful of, let's say look at SPY, is that when it makes all-time highs, like in here, back in November, it keeps breaking all-time highs until it doesn't. So, you know, don't set yourself up for a huge short play. You know, plays like this don't happen all the time. As anybody that was trading in 2017, it was the most boring time for shorts ever. Cameron, yeah, GS was great. GS, I think we talked about it earlier. GS had some good news today. It was bouncing off the support down here. MJ. So MJ, if you're looking to get into the weed stocks, I definitely think that, you know, you guys are onto something by recommending MJ as a play, because Yes, volatility is high here now because of everything that's going on. Definitely some huge swings. But looking at the option pricing, yeah, I know it's only a $40 stock, and they actually have to allow more strikes here. It's a little crazy. Just be careful when trading these, like anything. You know, I'm definitely going to be looking to trading MJ as well. But if you look here, they only have monthly expirations, which means it's probably not the most liquid. And then it's also look at the bid and the ask, and also the volume. The volume on some of these today, on these puts, are actually pretty good, but the bid and the ask is kind of wide, and they don't have that many strikes. So I bet probably next week or something like that, or in the next coming weeks, as more people that trade these wheat stocks, they're going to add weekly options to these ETFs, because what they do to add what they do is they wait for demand. To add weekly options here, they wait for demand, so they create more products for you to trade. Like SPY has 3 expirations a week. It's just because there's a demand for it. People make more money off it. The banks make more money off it. Brokers make more money off of it because more people are trading it. So they create these products for you to trade, is how that works. Which is better platform, Robinhood or Tastyworks? I like Taste Cakes. Sammy's Tastyworks, not Taste Cake. Taste Cake, yeah. I like Tastyworks better than Robinhood. I don't really trade that actively on Robinhood. I'll do some trades on there, but I mostly hold stock. On there. I like Tastyworks, except for what I found today is when I put this TLRY order in, I could open it fine on TD Ameritrade. I didn't try on Robinhood, but on Tastyworks probably were having a bunch of people margin call because TLRY was only closing orders only. You could not open a new trade or an options position on TLRY today, or I don't know if you could have earlier, but in this volatility, they set their to closing orders only because they are a new brokerage and they're probably protecting their firm's funds, the brokerage funds, because the people are getting margin called on this for sure. Oliver, have mental cap on gains or do spreads easier than letting your imagination run. Is Robinhood good for buying debit spread? Jamie says, or is Jaime, I'm sorry, good for buying debit spreads. Try buying one, show 0 interest, which I believe makes impossible to close a position. Yeah, when you're doing, it doesn't matter what brokerage you're with. When you're trading options, like I was talking about earlier, you want to make sure there's volume and there's people that want to buy it. It doesn't matter what brokerage you're with, Robinhood or TD Ameritrade or E-Trade or whoever. Would a put spread be good on GS? I would have said yes yesterday. But when it seems to be this 240 mark is going to hit some danger zones here, so it's gonna get dicey. I mean, obviously this is my own opinion, so take it as you is. I'm not giving you any guys recommendations here, but 240 is a danger zone for me. So if it can break past 240, which it did here, but look at this. This was some pain. It did break past 240, went to 245, and then red for 3 weeks straight. I mean, just terrible. So just be careful. Can you trade more than 3 times a day on Tastyworks? So, Sammy, to answer your question, PDT rule applies to anyone that has a margin account. It doesn't matter what brokerage you're with. It's a FINRA SEC rule. It doesn't matter what you're with. Cameron said, I tried to buy an option today on Robinhood. Consistently told me there were no buyers for my option. So, yeah, what was the stock? I can look it up. Can I help you out with that? On Gunther on U-Trade app, you can do day trades, $1 to buy, $1 to sell. Yeah, Gunther, that's the same price for Tastyworks. It's a $1 contract. Except for on Tastyworks, you can do there's no closing cost. And then on Thinkorswim, my cost is $1 to open $1 to close. Same as U-Stock trade. I got TD Ameritrade to lower my commissions. Cameron, I noticed that when you buy some stocks on Robinhood, it tells me I don't have enough collateral. I'm not sure what that means. It means you don't have enough money to cover the credit spread or debit spread in your account. You don't have enough money liquid. Yeah, if you guys are here, appreciate you. I post all my trade in our free options trading group, so leave the link is below. If you guys have any more questions, I'll be taking questions for a couple more minutes. So if you're not part of our free options trading group, the link is below. It's free. We have a Facebook group. Post all my trades in there throughout the day, plus or minus, win or lose. Not every day is a green day. Not every day is a red day. But I try, obviously we try to win more than we lose here. But yeah, today was definitely a hard trading day for anybody that was trading TLRY, or there was a lot of mixed signals. Tech was down, Dow was up. So when you're Cameron deleted his Facebook. Well, yeah, it is what it is. What I really wanted to accomplish with this chat today, with this talk, was increasing your win rate. You don't always have to get into position, and you don't always have to trade. Like, leave some cash on the sidelines for when a better opportunity will come across. Like, there's always going to be a good opportunity at some point in time. It may not be at that point. It may not be today. If you don't see any plays and you realize that you're trying to force something, you probably realize it's not the best trade to get into. And especially, like, one thing that I do to protect myself, if I put a trade in, I'm not getting the price that I want. After like 2 or 3 times, I just take the trade off because I'm trying to force the trade and it's not working out. So sometimes when you don't get a fill on a trade, it's probably someone telling you that's not the best idea. Cameron says, you do an amazing job, by the way. Man, I definitely appreciate everyone that watches this. I never would have thought that people would actually watch this channel when I first launched it about a year ago. Gunther says, Discord chat, make a Discord. I'm definitely working on that. I'm just trying to align some things. So we're working on some new tools for the people in our groups. I'm going to be working on some live streaming, some live trading throughout the day. Trying to I don't know, see what you guys want. Thanks for everything. Sammy says, thanks for everything. I learned something new from you every day. Definitely appreciate that, guys. If you guys are watching this later, please hit that like button. Definitely helps me out. We post a new video every day at 3:30. What do I think about VKTX? Let's see what that is. VKTX. Oops. Viking Therapeutics. So one thing, like, I don't really trade therapeutics that often. VKTX, and I only trade options, and they only have, so it's looking not very liquid. They only have monthly options, and there's some volume on these, but they only have for a $20 stock. They only have $2.50 wide strikes, so it's not the most liquid. You just got to be careful about this. I mean, that's a crazy move there. Wouldn't be bad to do some sort of strangle play here. Just be careful with the pricing you get. This one probably, this is, the IV's a bit inflated for that, for a $20 stock for 2 days from expiration. I'd probably be looking for something more in October on this. But the bid and the ask look a little wide, but there looks like some good volume here, so that that's a good thing. Gunther, my first time watching live. I appreciate these videos. Thanks, Gunther. What do you think about UPL? Let's see, UPL. You guys ever trade UPL in here? Ultra Petroleum. So technically, I never really trade stocks that are single digits, just because anything under $10 I usually don't touch, and there's like no options for it, so I'm not touching this. I mean, yeah, you can get a cheap play here, but for me, trades like this, it takes too long to make too little. That's just my opinion. BAC, Alex, BAC. Let's see here. Bank of America. What do you think of BAC? I bought a put option the day before it closed. Currently up. What do you think? It ran up crazy like today? Yeah, the bank stocks ran crazy, and I think this is more along like I was saying with GS. If you caught that earlier, if not, hit the replay. Nice play down here at 30. Not really loving it up in here into 32. I mean, if it could break 32, that would definitely give me a nice buy signal. But we're gonna have, I don't know. The last time it was in this range, you know, retracted back down to 30. So for me, it wouldn't be a buy here. I'd wait to see a more directional move, whether it comes back down to 30 or it goes, you know, breaks through some highs here. But you know, we're sitting near all-time highs here, hitting 33. So it's just going to be a concerning trade. You know, the banks were definitely a good trade today. Made some money on Goldman Sachs. Bank of America is kind of in the same boat, as that. So, you know, we're about 30 minutes. I don't want to make the stream too long for the people that watch it later. Definitely we'll be on tomorrow. Friday we do the UVH family chat where we recap everything that we do through the week and just kind of hang out with you guys, chill with you guys, and you know, see what your thoughts are on some of the stocks we're trading. So you guys have a great day. I'll be posting. You'll see me tomorrow.